And let's see can we make this work? All right, let's see if we can do this. Have we done this? All right. All right, all right, all right. I do believe we have done this right. All right, everybody. Great. Hello, hello, hello. Hey, everybody. How are y'all doing? All right. I think I did it today. All right. Okay. Hello, hello, hello. It is Friday. It is $5 Fridays, and I am so excited to be here with you. I am Senator Angela Williams Graves, representing the 21st Senatorial District in the Commonwealth of Virginia, where we do good work on your behalf. And I am super excited about today because we have two great candidates that I am asking you to support. Y'all know we come to you. We've been doing this since the summer, right? And we come to you asking you to donate $5, $10, $15, $25, $500, $5,000, whatever works for your budget. We've been asking you to do this throughout the summer, and you all have been amazing. And so now it is an opportunity for not only you to support me, but also to support two wonderful candidates in the November 7th election that is coming up in just a few days. We had two candidates on. Lord, where did they go? We had them. They were in the waiting room. And so I'm not sure where they went, but I'm going to text them right quick and make sure that they pop back on. This is what technology will do. Okay, where did y'all go? Okay, I see one. Okay, I see two. I see one and two. Oh, okay, all right, great. They're both in the same screen. All right, got it. Okay, so here's the thing, you guys. So this is a special election on January the 7th, and that is like with bad math, I think it's 11 whole days away, right? Maybe 10 if you count 0 as the 7th day. But it is a special election to make sure that we hold our Democratic majority in the Virginia General Assembly. We have already seen the MAGA chaos in not in Richmond, but in DC. And we want to make sure that we don't have that MAGA chaos in Richmond. Democrats have done really good work for Virginians, and we cannot do that if we do not hold this seat. Each chamber, the Senate and the House, have a 1-seat majority. 1 seat, y'all, 1-seat majority. And that 1 seat is this race right here. It's 1 seat in the Senate and 1 seat in the House that gives us our majority. And so I am asking you, I'm actually begging you, but I'm asking you strongly to support our candidates for the House of Delegates, J.J. Singh, District 26, and for the Senate District 32. Those districts are in Loudoun and Loudoun County in Northern Virginia. So that's why I'm asking you to donate. We are asking you to donate to this joint fundraiser. And so you get the opportunity to know who you are, who you're donating to. I'm going to bring them on. All right. Y'all know I play producer here. So I'm going to add them to the stage. I think they are both sharing a camera because they're actually together. They are doing joint work. The Senate district overlaps the House district. And so they are doing work together. So I'm going to ask that, I'm going to turn the music down. I'm going to ask Kanan Srinivasan. I got it right. I am working to get that name right because names matter, right? So I'm
Thank you.
asking, he is currently the delegate representing the 26th House District, running for Senate District 32. And he was elected to the House of Delegates in 2023. I got a great opportunity to work with him. He is a proud Indian American, and he coins himself, which I know to be true, as an effective problem solver, delivering meaningful results for Loudon families. And what that means is if he is delivering meaningful results for Loudon families, he's also delivering meaningful results for Hampton Roads families, because what affects one of us affects all of us. So, Kanan, take it away.
Thank you so much, Senator Graves. Thanks for this opportunity. It's wonderful to be here. And by the way, I have a Hampton Roads connection. I'm a Old Dominion grad. I'm a proud monarch. I used to live in Hampton Boulevard, and I'm very very happy to be here with more wonderful friends from Hampton Road. And I did my master's in accounting at Old Dominion. Lived off of Hampton Boulevard. Literally walked across the street to the campus. And
Outstanding.
that's where I was actually got hit by a truck in '93 in East Little Creek Road when I was doing a summer job at Drug Emporium. I was riding a bicycle coming back to my apartment on East Little Creek Road when two dogs came and pushed me into the street. I hit a truck head on. I got amazing care in Norfolk Centera. I'm very glad I'm alive because of the doctors and the surgeons in Centera. But the healthcare system, I realized quickly, was completely broken. Our healthcare is great, but our payment processing, reimbursement, pre-authorization, insurance processing, that's a whole different mess. And I saw that firsthand. Even with student health insurance, I went from pillar to post to get my 20% covered, which was my copay in those days in Blue Cross Blue Shield. And I was not eligible for Medicaid. I was a foreign student on F1 student visa. I was heartbroken, did my own internal audit, and was able to get out of that situation. But that made me realize how broken the healthcare system is. And it's an American dream that 8 years ago, Governor McAuliffe appointed me to Medicaid board. Governor Northam reappointed me, and I became chairman under Governor Youngkin. So I served in Medicaid for 7 years. I'm a very proud Democrat because we are the party of good governance. We deliver for people. When I joined the board, it was 700,000 members. Now it's 2.2 million members. It's extraordinary growth, thanks to Democrats. This is the first opportunity, this special election, to push back on the Trump agenda that is taking over Washington. This will be the start of our trifecta, which would be 100 times better than the Trump trifecta in DC. When we had 2 years of majority, and thanks to Senator Graves' work in the past, we were able to do so many wonderful things in Virginia and in Richmond. And I'm waiting to bring those things back. I'll work very hard. My three priorities are women's right to choose, the constitutional amendment. It's extremely important. We have three on the line. My opponent has clearly said that she will not vote for the constitutional amendments.
So wait a
She
minute, hold on, Conan. You have a female opponent who is not supportive of a woman's right to choose.
Nope. She's on record saying the most important thing to do is to stop the constitutional amendment.
Wow.
Yeah. So it is that is the lay of the land. She's a MAGA Republican who is determined to stop the constitutional amendment. We have three wonderful amendments. First is women's right to choose. We just passed it in the House Privileges and Elections Committee. I'm a proud member. I was very humbled to cast my vote on November 13th to advance it. Second is restoring voting rights. We are the only state in the country. It's such an embarrassment. Only state in the country where it has to go to a governor. It is not fair, and this constitutional amendment will fix it. The third one is marriage equality. Very important. When people say, "Oh, the Supreme Court decision is there," well, it could go away, like Roe versus Wade went away. So that is why we need these three constitutional amendments. That's at stake, big time. Number two, gun safety. Our district is big on it. I mean, all of Virginia, we are very concerned. We had 84 school shooting this year. Just imagine 84 school shooting this 2024 alone. So we need common sense gun safety. Number third is public education. Both my parents were teachers, and I'm very committed to funding and paying teachers. We are still, and Senator Graves knows this very well, we are still funding our students on a per student basis, 20% less than West Virginia. Just think about that. And we have not restored funding for higher education to pre 2008 level. We have not restored funding to higher education before the Great Recession. So there's a lot of work to do. Thank you. God bless you all for what all you're doing. Every dollar of yours is spent efficiently because we are together. We campaign together, or our teams are together. So it is well spent. So thank you again so very much. And I'll give it to JJ now. Thank you, Senator Graves.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Kanan. I really appreciate you all taking the time to be here and to tell us what your priorities are and let folks get to know you a little bit better. So next up is the candidate for House District 26. So House District 26 is the seat that Kanan Srinivasan is vacating because he's coming over to the Senate with us. And then we're going to welcome in JJ Singh, who is an incredible gentleman. I was going to say young man, but I'm going to go with that. He's an incredible young man. We're going with that. We're going with young man. He is an incredible young man. He was born and raised in Northern Virginia. He is living the American dream, and he has never forgotten the values of hard work and serving others that were taught to him by his immigrant parents. So JJ, tell us a little bit about yourself and tell us what your priorities are once you win this election on January 7th.
Well, thank you so much, Senator. I appreciate it. Just by way of just prefacing all this, I want to thank Delegate Srinivasan, who of course is sitting next to me, who has been an exceptional leader in the House of Delegates. And he and I are running together. My district, HD 26, that I'm running for is a subset of his Senate District 32. And so we're very closely coordinated, and I'm grateful to him and his leadership and his support. And thank you to you, Senator, for that introduction. My parents came over from India in 1970. I was born here in Northern Virginia. Proud graduate of our public schools, including the University of Virginia. And after graduating that, and as you just mentioned, a few of the values that my parents instilled in me were work hard, serve others, and persevere through tough times. And so my service journey started as a Peace Corps volunteer in Bolivia, where I worked with single mothers to help them get microloans to start and grow businesses. After that, I worked in the United States Senate for Senator Chris Coons from Delaware. I was his economic policy advisor for many years. And despite the rise of Ted Cruz and the Tea Party, we managed to navigate the gridlock to pass bills to help small businesses and promote and boost the manufacturing sector. Most recently, the company I work with now, we build and operate hotels. And during the pandemic, we built a hotel on time, under budget, and added 70 new jobs at a time where everybody else was slashing payroll. And I tell those things to say that these are some tough times that we face with Trump coming to the White House, Governor Youngkin in a governor's mansion, and tough times call for tough and resilient people. And that's what I think I represent, and that's what I think the voters in Loudoun County represent, and the volunteers, the Democratic Party, and those of us who are on this call today. We want to persevere through these tough times and accomplish big things. The question is, what are those big things? Well, the first thing is I have two daughters who are ages 6 and 4. And I believe right now they have fewer rights than my wife did before Roe was overturned. And so what we need to do is pass a constitutional amendment so that creepy politicians do not go into their doctor's offices with them and make medical decisions on their behalf. That's the first thing. The second thing is gun violence is the number one cause of death in this country. And so we need to do more about high capacity magazines, assault weapons, background checks, red flag laws, and the like. And the final thing is, when I went to the University of Virginia, tuition, room, and board was $15,000 a year, and now it's $40,000 a year. Wow. No one can afford it. Students can't afford it. And if parents can afford to help a little bit, they have to decide whether to fund their own retirement or their kids' education. And that's not a position we as the state should be putting our families in, period. So we need to do more to reduce the cost of college tuition. And also tolls here in Northern Virginia are a very big deal. And it's something we're talking about every day on the campaign trail. Gunnan and I, our campaigns are very closely integrated from a field perspective. We're out there working every day We're knocking on every door possible. Every dollar that you all contribute helps us stay off the phones and stay on the doors. And so we're greatly appreciative of everything you're doing. And thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much. So I want to clarify a little bit. So when you say it keeps us off the phones, for those of you watching who don't know or who will watch this after it has after it's ended, we do something called call time. All right. And as elected officials, and it is probably one of the most uncomfortable, distasteful things that we do as elected officials. But that is when we literally sit on the phone and call our friends, family, and others, right? And ask them if they will donate to our campaigns. All right. And so when you donate, when we're sitting in call time as candidates, you can't be in two places at one time. You can't be meeting with constituents. You can't be meeting with potential voters. You can't be knocking doors. You're sitting in call time begging for money, as I say. And so to keep them out of call time, right? To keep them on the doors where they need to be meeting with voters, meeting with constituents, talking to folks and letting them know about this election. We need you to donate. These are two incredible candidates. I had the privilege of working with Delegate Srinivasan this year. He came to me about a bill. I had questions. He answered them, and he did his due diligence in following up with the questions, with the answers that he didn't have. And that was very impressive to me, especially as a first-time delegate. So I know he'll be great in the Senate. And I love JJ's story in how you are walking, talking American dream, right? And so I just want to take just a few seconds because we're almost to the end, and just to remind everyone about the constitutional amendments that are on the ballot that both candidates spoke of. Number one, the abortion rights amendment. We've been talking about that. That is extremely important to make sure that we have, women have bodily autonomy and that they have the right to birth control. All right. That I would get on a soapbox about that, but I'm not going to do it. I'm going to stay on task. And then the Restoration of Voting Rights Amendment. That is a critical amendment as well, because it allows the restoration of voting rights for those individuals who have served their time, paid their fines, paid their debt to society, and it allows them to be integrated into society in a full capacity as a citizen. So imagine being a citizen of this country, making a mistake and having that mistake held against you forever and ever. Amen. We want to make sure that that does not happen anymore, and that the restoration process is not in the hands of one individual, and that one individual being the governor. And then lastly, the Marriage Equality Amendment. The Marriage Equality Amendment simply says that marriage is between two adults. And the beauty of all of this is, unlike legislation that can be killed or signed into law by the governor, all of these pieces, all of these amendments will ultimately go on the ballot. And the voters, you all who are listening, will have the final say. And so if you don't know what that process is, I invite you to go to my YouTube channel at AWG Norfolk and watch the What's Up Wednesdays on, I think it was December 18th. And I outline what the process is for constitutional amendments and how they become law. And it is a process, but it also ends with the voter. And I told y'all, if you didn't know, if you didn't see it, that I trust the voters. You know why I trust the voters? Because y'all voted for me. So if you voted for me, I trust your judgment, right? So here's how you can reach all of the candidates. You can contact Kanan Srinivasan at canaan4virginia.com, and you can contact JJ Singh at jjsingh.com. And then there's the link. It is way too long for me to read, but it's also at the blue, it's scrolling at the blue, in the blue box at the bottom of the screen where you can donate. This is a joint fundraiser, so it all gets split up between the three of us, and it allows us to keep that blue brick wall that we have worked so hard to obtain, as well as keep us moving in the right direction and continuing to make progress for Virginians. Virginia cannot become DC with a mega trifecta, because we know a mega trifecta is a hot mess. Okay, so we want to make sure that we are moving Virginia in the right direction and that we are supporting great candidates. The special election is January 7th. Donate. If you've got friends in Northern Virginia, make sure you let them know. If you don't live in Northern Virginia, you know somebody that lives in Northern Virginia. And if you know somebody that lives in Northern Virginia, call them up, text them, email them, let them know that there is an election on January 7th and they need to get out and vote. Now, tell me something, fellas. Early voting has already
Yep.
started, right?
Yep. I was going to just say, Senator, early voting has already started. There is actually 2 additional locations starting tomorrow on 2 Saturdays.
Okay.
So I'm sure everybody knows somebody who lives in Loudon. Loudon has grown crazy in the last 15 years.
Mhm.
So I'm sure every one of you know someone who lives in Loudon. Please tell them to take advantage of early voting. It is, there are 3 locations. The main location in Leesburg, one in Dulles South, one in Cloudmore Park. All information is on our websites. So please encourage them to vote early if they can, or on January 7th, Tuesday. It is their regular schools, regular polling locations. So same timing from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Outstanding. And here's the last thing I'm going to say before we let folks go is the Republicans are going to vote. You can count on that. The Republicans are going to vote. And the only way, these are Democratic districts. The only way we lose these seats is if Democrats don't vote. And I know folks were disappointed about Kamala. I get it. Just like Christmas was yesterday, the Kamala's election was in November. It is over. It is done. And we still have to move on and move forward and be good Democrats and go out and vote. So the only way that we don't win is if you don't vote. And understand that they don't have this in the bag unless you go out and vote. So I am Senator Angela Williams Graves, representing the 21st Senatorial District. I want to say thank you for joining us. Thank you to our candidates. Thank you for everybody who tuned in live and who will watch this afterwards. And as usual, I want to remind you that I love you. And I also want to remind you that you are a walking, talking, living, breathing miracle. Bye-bye.
Thank you.